together. And I made it very clear on a number of occasions that those involved will feel the full force of the law. So we coordinated, we went through some of the numbers. Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online, that you are likely to be dealt with within a week, and that nobody should be involving themselves.
Kier Starmer isn't just censoring critics. He is arresting people for posting things he personally doesn't like. That's not leadership, that's tyranny. Starmer seems to believe he can silence Britain into submission, but he just picked a fight with the wrong man. Elon Musk, tech titan, global disruptor, and Donald Trump's most powerful ally, is now preparing a strike that Starmer never saw coming. Sources close to Musk suggest he is about to take matters into his own hands. This isn't just political anymore, it's personal. But why is Musk turning the heat up on Starmer? What line did Starmer cross that made one of the most powerful men on Earth vow to take him down? In this video, let's know about the whole story. Imagine waking up in a supposedly free country, posting a meme, a joke, or even a political opinion, and ending the day in a police cell. That's not dystopian fiction. That's the United Kingdom under Kier Starmer. More than 12,000 people were arrested last year for daring to express themselves online. Not for inciting violence, not for committing harm, but for causing annoyance, anxiety, or distress. What's that supposed to mean? Whatever the state says.
A man fought Kier Starmer's police state and won. There are people in prison for social media posts after the Southport attack who should not be there, in my view. I think that they were scared into pleading guilty. Yet they still received years behind bars, and one man, Peter Lynch, sadly took his own life. But Jamie Michael, a former Royal Marine, decided to plead not guilty, and it took a jury just 17 minutes.
There's an all-out attack on our freedoms currently being waged by Kier Starmer and this new Labour government, and the riots we've seen over recent weeks are the vehicle for their agenda. Brits are now being rounded up and arrested for things they've posted on social media in a chilling precedent that George Orwell would be proud of. Bernie Spofforth, the 55-year-old woman accused of being the first to post the fake name of the Southport attacker online, well, she received a knock at the door by cops this week and is still being detained tonight. She denies claims that she incited the riots, saying she simply shared previously posted material. And if you attended the riots but simply watched on from the sidelines, well, you're not safe either. A judge this week said anyone who attended the violence, whether they were involved or not, would be refused bail in the court.
It means this isn't law enforcement, this is emotional policing at a national scale, criminalizing discomfort and turning the internet into a minefield of state-enforced sensitivity. Section 127 of the Communications Act and Section 1 of the Malicious Communications Act are now nothing more than digital gags, handed to police to silence any citizen who steps out of line. Post something sarcastic, offensive, blunt. That's 2 a.m. police knocking at your door.
And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests.
That's what the Director of Public Prosecutions said. The result is over 30 arrests per day, and that's just from the data the government admits to. 8 police forces didn't even respond to information requests. So what's the real number? Higher. Much higher. Kier Starmer's Britain doesn't protect the vulnerable. It protects feelings. And if your words hurt someone's feelings, congratulations. You have just committed a speech crime. And your feelings? They don't matter. Thought crime isn't a warning anymore, it's the law. And Kier Starmer is its architect. What's more, under Kier Starmer's rule, speech is no longer a right. It's a privilege, granted only to those who say the correct things. And the punishment for getting it wrong? Arrest first, question later, prosecution optional. This isn't about justice, it's about fear.
I know of one or two, at least, decisions to remand a defendant in custody which would not have been taken. That is to say, they would not have been remanded in custody in normal circumstances. And I think that is likely to have weighed very heavily on those defendants when it came to deciding whether or not to plead guilty, because when you've been taken from your sofa to a police cell, to a court cell, to a prison cell, all in the space of 48 hours for something that you wouldn't have thought was an offence, the feeling that the system is against you and you're not going to win no matter what is likely to be overwhelming. And so you're more likely to take the discount for pleading guilty and take it on the chin rather than try and...
Civil liberties groups, the last defender of sanity, have warned the public that Britain is collapsing into authoritarian territory. The laws are so vague, so open-ended, they can be twisted into whatever the regime needs them to be. One day it's grossly offensive, the next it's causing inconvenience. Tomorrow it might be failure to align with national values. The ambiguity isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It lets the state decide when to strike and who to target.
And I'm amazed that he was charged with, with an offence that carries a 7-year prison sentence, potentially. Obviously, it's unlikely anyone would get that much, but that shows the severity of the charge he was facing. I listened to the whole of that 13 minutes this afternoon. You showed us a few clips. It's absolutely clear that he is very affected by what had gone on, and he's saying that we have got to get together as a community in the right way. We've got to engage with the politicians. I mean, this is freedom of speech. That is a fundamental right in this country, and it's being eroded. And that is very, very dangerous. And I think Kier Starmer has a lot to answer for, because he, in my opinion, listening to him, I remember him saying it in the summer, calling people far right. He absolutely stoked those.
That's when Elon Musk entered the debate. However, he didn't quietly disagree with Kier Starmer's crackdown on speech. He detonated. After Starmer's government accused him of fueling hate, Musk responded with open mockery, comparing Britain to the Soviet Union and ridiculing Starmer's authoritarian lurch.
But for all his faults, we wouldn't have even known there were other ethnic groups involved in riots across Britain if it wasn't for Musk and X. Musk has goaded Starmer online, calling him a hypocrite over his alleged two-tier approach to the riots, while also suggesting the PM is overseeing a Soviet-style administration. In response, the highest police officer in the land seemed to bizarrely hint that Mr. Musk could be extradited to Britain to explain himself.
From further afield online, we will come after you.
That's how insane Starmer has made the system. He thinks he can bring Elon Musk to Britain so he can explain. Or would it be better for Elon Musk to topple Starmer so he comes running to the United States for mercy? That's precisely what is happening now. Behind the scenes, Musk has reportedly held strategy talks with political allies, not about protest, not about policies, but about removing Kier Starmer from power before the next election. That's not posturing, that's calculated political warfare.
Now being reported in the FT and the Times as having held meetings, private meetings, about the idea of overthrowing Kier Starmer this side of the election. Which is, it's got to be worrying, this, and not just for Starmer and Labour.
Yeah, and so I feel really torn about this story, because at one level, Elon Musk, the more we talk about him, the more he aggrandizes himself, the more publicity he gets, the more powerful he feels. But on the other hand, he is the richest man in the world.
Yes.
He is Donald Trump's right-hand man.
Yes.
So it does...
Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive videos on the groundbreaking changes happening in British politics. Let's continue now. Musk isn't just another rich man with opinions. He is a global power broker with a direct pipeline to Donald Trump, a massive digital infrastructure, and a network of tech elites, media figures, and alternative political movements that he can activate at will. If Starmer wanted a quiet second half of his premiership, he just provoked the worst possible enemy, one who doesn't play by Westminster rules. As Starmer waffles about consultation periods and shuffles through pre-written talking points, Musk is building a digital resistance, not just with memes, but with a growing alliance of political disruptors. Starmer's grip on power is already fragile. Musk just lit the match, and Britain is watching. And this is making Starmer lose his mind and be extremely nervous.
The owner of X, Elon Musk, has been tweeting over the past few days about your response to this crisis, about what's been going on. He's claimed that civil war in the UK is inevitable. He is a powerful voice. A lot of people follow him on Twitter. Are you worried about his impact, or might he have a point about some of the things he's saying?
My focus is on ensuring that our communities are safe. That is my sole focus. And I think it's very important for us all to support the police in what they're doing.
So, what finally broke the dam? What made Musk go from commentary to confrontation? Well, the answer is the two justice systems in the UK under Kier Starmer. In one, citizens are jailed for posts that offend or annoy someone online. On the other, attackers and murderers are given concessions. While the Metropolitan Police arrest meme posters at 2 a.m, grooming victims are ignored, crime surges across cities, and actual hate speech is excused, as long as it comes from the right political group. Criticize immigration. You are a threat. It's this hypocrisy, this weaponization of the law, that led Musk to launch the two-tier Kier campaign, a public call-out that hit Starmer where it hurt most. Because once the public begins to see the double standard, they begin to see the regime for what it truly is, not incompetent, but rigged.
Very quickly, the big question is, we've got a huge issue in Britain when it comes to free speech. We've got a two-tier approach. We've seen at the same time that there's questions around Kier Starmer, not just about what's happened around Southport, but also about things like Dan Morris. Did he get a report on him? Did he not? Are there different measures that are going out for some people rather than others? Why is there an obsession about a discussion around Islamophobia? And yet at the same time, there's a different approach towards some people, often white, working class British people, or people that just don't happen to agree with the metropolitan elite. The British public is sick.
Musk's war with Starmer didn't stop with censorship. He tore open the dirtiest file in Starmer's past, the grooming gang scandal. For years, British authorities failed to prosecute child sex abuse gangs who targeted vulnerable white girls across towns like Rotherham, Rochdale, and Telford. But here's the critical part. Kier Starmer ran the Crown Prosecution Service when some of the most vital early cases were dropped and did nothing. And Musk knows it because a whistleblower exposed everything.
This topic has haunted me for really 20 years now, since I first worked on Operation Augusta. Now, in 2000, I was very naive back then, but in 2005, Greater Manchester Police closed down a live investigation where we had 100 paedophiles on a database that we knew were abusing dozens of children. My husband was terminally ill, and I went off work, leaving a fully all singing, all dancing, live major investigation. And when I came back to work after he died, the whole job had been closed down. Not one person prosecuted, and it left me traumatized. But I was very, very naive in that back then. I am not naive now. I've had 20 years of learning. But in 2008, I know that when Kier Starmer was the Director of Public Prosecutions, Gordon Brown was the Prime Minister, and a circular was sent out to all Crown prosecutors and police forces, telling them that this was a well-known problem amongst the Pakistani Muslim community, that young white children were being groomed or and raped on a daily basis, and that they should do nothing about it. So if the direct, and yet we're talking about 11, 12, 13-year-old white vulnerable children, often from difficult backgrounds, and the law in our country says you cannot have sex with a 12-year-old child. And if the Director of Public Prosecutions is instructing police forces and Crown prosecutors not to prosecute, I say there is no higher authority in the land. He should be leading.
Now, Elon Musk has accused Starmer not just of oversight, but of willful neglect, of protecting political optics over protecting children, of prioritizing party loyalty over justice. One of Musk's most viral posts said it flatly: Starmer must go. He should face charges for his complicity in the worst mass crime in Britain's history. It's not just political rhetoric. During Starmer's tenure, CPS lawyers blocked key cases by claiming the victims would not be seen as credible. In one of those exact cases, later reopened and successfully prosecuted, the victims were proven right all along. And the system? It was exposed as willfully blind. Now, Musk has turned that file into a public trial. He has reposted evidence, called for new inquiries, and accused Starmer of running away from his record. The Labour government can try to spin, distract, or deny, but with every tweet, Musk is rewriting the political narrative. And unlike journalists or MPs, he doesn't need permission to do it. Then Musk made it political. He began amplifying Reform UK, Britain's anti-establishment party rising fast in the polls. He even went so far as to suggest the King dissolve Parliament, a move not seen in nearly 200 years. Critics called it unhinged. But it sparked a conversation Starmer feared. What if the regime itself is the real problem? Musk is not playing games. His platform, his money, and his voice are all turned toward one goal: breaking Starmer's grip on Britain before it's too late. What began as an online spat is now a full-blown regime threat. Reports are now swirling that Elon Musk has privately discussed removing Kier Starmer, not in 2029, but before the next general election.
Elon Musk wants to intervene in... No, he's not going to get that. Elon Musk wants to intervene in British politics to topple Kier Starmer. It's pretty clear. I talked to his father, a very strange man this week. Errol Musk. And he was again saying the trouble with Kier Starmer is that he's a fascist, Stalinist, anti-democratic, tyrant, and he must be pulled down. That is the sort of Elon Musk line.
That's not just disruptive. That's historic. Musk's strategies aren't military, but digital and political. Coordinated pressure campaigns, viral media blitzes, support for anti-establishment parties, and perhaps most dangerously for Starmer, leverage in Washington. Musk is Trump's guy. He can make Trump exclude the UK from US trade, tech cooperation, and defense agreements. Tariffs on the UK are already showing that. Musk sees Starmer not as a mere nuisance, but as a threat to Western democracy. Someone willing to jail dissidents, censor platforms, and ignore grooming scandals to preserve political capital. This isn't just ideological anymore. For Musk, it's personal. The richest man on earth isn't bluffing. He is activating every resource he has. And for the first time in modern UK history, a foreign billionaire may successfully orchestrate a non-electoral regime change with the consent of the public. Isn't it true that now Elon Musk is in a powerful position to really topple Starmer? Do you think he might be behind J.D. Vance's brutal and hardline stance on Starmer and how he is arresting people for only posting stuff online? In the comment section right below, share your thoughts on what you are expecting now to happen. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get more updates on British politics and how events are changing it. Until the next video, stay tuned.